Hello everybody and welcome to another video education series. Today's session is going to be on how to take partial profits and also how to mitigate a losing position as well too. Very important stuff. We're going to dive into this. Today's education sessions shouldn't take any longer than about 15 minutes here, so it's a fairly quick one, but very important. So I encourage you to watch this one a few times so you can familiarize yourself with some of our procedures. So what I want to do just before I get started, I just want to give everybody a heads up. If you're not a member of our website yet, jump over to f45trading.com and check out our page. You can sign up for 30 days for free, and you can access all of our signals, all of our videos, all of our analyst comments, and much more for free for 30 days. So make sure you jump in there, check that out, f45trading.com. Also on the main page, if you scroll down, you'll see our social media platforms. I highly encourage you to sign up to these and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube as well too. YouTube is where we're uploading all of our videos right now. Right now it's all for free. Eventually they will become private for members only. But right now you can take advantage of those for free, so just click on the link, window pops up, and make sure you subscribe to our channel. Very important. You can't just go and check it out because you'll lose the site, so you make sure you hit the subscribe button, and you'll get instant notifications on when we go live and when we post videos to it. So super great resource there. The other one is Instagram. This is where we post all of our daily updates, charts and signals, and all that good stuff. Just some discussion about the market and all the stuff in between, so make sure you check us out on Instagram as well. But just remember, you can go to our website, you can sign up for 30 days for free, and you can get access to our website right here, where we have all of our market signals, our analysis, our webinars, and all that good stuff, and all the video education as well too, all for free. So make sure you check it out. Now when you get into the education video, again, just come down, scroll down, and you'll be able to see today's recording right here on how to take partial profits, and we'll have one additional one here on basic entry patterns that'll be uploaded here shortly. So we're going to dive into the session and get going. So what I've done here, guys, is a couple of different order entries to give you an idea that there are several different methods of entering an order. So one of them, you can do a large lot size position to get in. You can do, or you can also do a scale into it with very small positions. So you can see that here. I've done both. One of them I have an order at 0.50, which is a half a lot, or 5 minis, and I've done 3 additional orders of 1 mini lot each. And I'll just kind of go down to 1 minute so you can break these up so you can see exactly what I did here. Okay, now the whole idea, I was looking for a short position on the Euro GBP, and this is just a demo. Obviously there's no real money, live funds, or anything like that on the line here. I'm not risking any live funds, so it's all under demo for these purposes, for explaining these educational videos. So there's no live funds on the line. But I wanted to identify a couple of things here to draw your attention to. I'm assuming this is going to go down. It may go up. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. This is just for example purposes only again. But we have a 30 pip stop loss area up here. We have our entry level here. And then we have our plus 30 pip in profit partial take profit level right here. This is a very important level that I'm going to go through here in a minute. And then we've got our full take profit range in here. Now, as a general rule of thumb, it's very important that when you're taking a trade, that you do a very minimum of a 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio. So what that means is I'm risking 30 pips to make 60 pips. And that's what we've got here. This isn't exactly 60 pips. I just did a low here, the take profit low on the market right here, just because you wouldn't be able to see the level. It'd be off the screen here. So it's actually, we entered it at 88.47. The actual take profit should be a little bit lower than this, but this is just for example purposes, so you can see it on the screen. But I want to draw your attention to this one here. So when the trade does go into profit, very important that you take your plus 30 pips. And we explained this a little bit in previous education sessions, but today we're actually going to show you how to go about doing this, okay? So let's say, for instance, we've entered a short position here. The trade is trading against us right now. It doesn't really matter. This is just for examples. But if, let's say the trade is 30 pips in profit and we want to take some off the table to pay ourselves, what we can do one of two things. We can either come down here to our order, double click it, order window pops up, or we can just double click right on the order itself and the entry line right there itself, and we can, excuse me, we can modify the order from there. Now the default window pops up, it says modify. All you can do here is change your stop loss and your take profit levels. That's all you can do here. So what you have to do is actually click the drop down menu and select instant execution. Now you can see here all of the stuff that was grayed out before is now available. Come up to your volume. This was how much the initial order was for. You can now select a different level, for example, 2 minis, and then you can close your order for 2 minis, leaving the other 3 minis open as still. So again, we're assuming we took a short position. We're assuming the trade is now 30 pips into profit. We want to take some off, and we'll remind you when the trade goes into 30 pips into profit to do this, so you don't have to worry about it. We'll always get on there and remind you. So you come in here, trade is 30 pips in profit, select the drop down menu, instant execution, select the amount that you want to take off, and then you just click close. Okay, now as a general rule of thumb too, I should mention, typically 30 pips is a very, very good profit range. So typically I like to practice taking about 2/3 of the trade off, at least half, but just take something off for yourself. So in this case, we'll just take 2 minis off of the 5 mini trade that we took and hit close. Okay, so that closes that order now. So you can navigate down here and you can see I now only have 3 minis of the original 5 mini lot order now open. So I took some profits off the table, assuming that this was trading a profit. We can see here now that it's gone against a couple of pips, but for example purposes, we'll say it was 30 pips in profit. Okay. Now, very important, once you do that, once you take some pips off the table, take some profit and pay yourself, it's also now very important to protect that the remainder of your profit. So what you want to do is you want to then drag your stop loss down to break even, which is the same level that you got the order in at. Okay, so in this case we got in at 88.47. We want to now enter our stop loss down to 88.47. Okay, very important, and then that way we don't have to worry about the trade going against us and losing any money and giving back any of those profits that we took. So very, very important. 30 pips in profit, you take some partial money off the table and then move your stop loss to break even, or break even plus 5 as well too, and that's always a good habit to get into, and then you get a little more profit if the trade goes against you. So very, very important to do that. Now the other thing I was discussing here as well too is scaling. So what that means is as the trade is going into profit, so let's say it was doing this rate here. I'll just identify this here just so you can kind of see. Oops. Let's say the trade is right here, okay, and it's dropping down, and you want to start putting some a few trades on. So let's say it's up here, you got a trade off here, you sold it, drops down another level. Well, you think, well, I think that's going to keep going down, so you'd put another order in, and then another and another, and so on, all the way down. That's basically what this is illustrating right here. You see all of these levels right here. I'm putting in multiple orders, all of the same denomination. So instead of doing one large lot at 5 minis, you could do, for instance, 5 orders at 1 mini, and it's all the same. But it just sort of scales you in, and again, you can take profits off the table there. All you do is you simply grab one of these mini orders like this, instant execution, grab it, and close. Okay, very, very simple to do. Now, the reverse of this is obviously if the trade is going against you. Very, very important. You don't always want to hold out your full risk to the full stop loss, right? You want to take some off the table. If, let's say, the trade is moving 15 pips against you, you've got a 30 pip stop loss, well, it's probably a good idea to open that trade up, go in, instant execution again, and either take one of the positions off. If you scaled into it like I've done here, you close one of those positions and then you let price do what it does. If it stops you out, that's okay, because it wasn't the full risk that you would initially risked in the beginning. And you're protecting and you're preserving your capital. And again, I said that before, that's the name of the game. You want to preserve your capital as best as possible. Sometimes you enter a trade and you just got that feeling that it's just not going to go in your favor. And instead of being stubborn and letting the thing go right to your 30 pip stop loss and taking a full stop out, take some off the table. Go in, close. I'll just do it on this one here. And even, you know, if you had something like this, go in, close one mini off of there at least. Just take something off to protect your capital so it's not as bad of a loss. And that way too, you know, if the trade was 15 pips against you, you take some off the table. You know, you take a third of your position off the table or something like that, and then the trade starts to go back in your favor. Great, you can still take advantage of the trade. You can write out to your full profits, and you haven't lost anything. You've made money back, and no problem. Again, it's just all about capital preservation. You want to make sure you're protecting that in profit and out of profit. So very, very important to do. Now, ideally, once you're, just to go back to this again, once you are 30 pips in profit, you take some of the trade off. You take a third, take a half, take 2/3 off, whatever you want to do, and then you let the rest of the trade go to your full profit target. Sometimes, I mentioned it before, we'll have a couple of different take profit levels. If we're you know, doing a swing trade or a weekly trade or something like that, we'll have different profit levels throughout the week. So very important as well. You take some profits off at those levels as well too, and that's where that scaling method comes in. And taking partial profits, you know, by doing it, the method that I just showed you, that comes in very handy as well too. So, a couple of different methods for you to look at, whichever one works best for you. But again, very important: 30 pips in profit, take some off the table, mitigate your losers and minimize your losers. I'm sorry, by taking partial risk off the table when it goes against you. And make sure you always move your stop loss down to break even once the trade goes into profit for you. So that's really about all I wanted to discuss with you. Now, some of you may come in and say, well, you know, there's there are tools to help us trail our stop into when our trade goes into profit, and there definitely are. You can go and take advantage of those. Those are additional features that you can add into MT4, and I'm not going to go through that for this purpose, but it's just an option. You go in and you can, for instance, you know, you go into a pending order, for instance, and then you can go in here and you'll have an additional box that'll say if you want to trail the stop, how many pips you want to trail it by, and then it's all set up for you. So I'm not going to go through that in this one in detail or anything. We can save that one for another education session if that's something that you guys want to look at. But no, that option does exist as well too. And then that way you can walk away from your trade. You can trail your stop by, you know, 15 or 20 pips. And as your as price starts moving into your favorable position, into your target area, your stop loss will trail down along with it. And then you can walk away and you don't got to worry about it. And no matter what, you're going to be profitable. So couple of different ways to do that, but again, we've outlined some fundamentals that you must always employ when trading, and we will remind you to do those as well when we put our signals out, so rest assured. So that's everything. We appreciate your time. Again, check us out on our social media pages by going to our main landing page at F45 Trading. Click on these, subscribe to our social media sites, because we do a lot of updates on there and a lot of interaction. You're going to get a lot of great value from it. So with that, we're going to close it up. Thank you very much, and we'll be launching another education session again here very shortly. So talk to you then.